was just reporting, did Democrats convince these influential Senate Republicans, they are the swing votes in the Senate, that Democrats need to get witnesses in there? Democrats, though, have alienated these senators due to their over-the-top attacks on them as, quote, treacherous, doing a cover-up. Let's bring in Republican Tom McClintock on House Judiciary. What's your reaction to that? Because Senators Lisa Murkowski and John Cornyn angry and upset over Jerry Nadler calling them just that, treacherous, doing a cover-up. What's your reaction first to that?
Well, first of all, I would ignore all that. But before they can even get to those questions, they've got to answer a very basic question, and that is, are the charges brought by the House conducive with the constitutional standard of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors? High crimes meaning crimes related to the office. The House has not charged any of that. The two charges of the House are abuse of power, which means the Democrats don't like the way the president conducted his lawful powers as president, and obstruction of Congress, meaning the president asserted his constitutional rights and privileges. Neither of those is grounds for impeachment under the Constitution.
Okay, let's
even if they were, yeah. The Democrats have offered no legally admissible evidence. All of the evidence is hearsay, speculation, and what witnesses who never met the president read in the New York Times.
Yeah, so, you know, no smoking gun documents linking,
well,
you know,
not even allegations of actual high crimes and misdemeanors.
Okay,
and
let's stay on this for a second because, sorry to interrupt, because a Republican witness, Jonathan Turley, you know, Jerry Nadler today cited Turley as saying abuse of power. In the past, he said abuse of power is a crime, citing Senator Lindsey Graham saying, yes, abuse of power is a crime. The Democrats showing video of the president on camera saying, get China, get Ukraine to investigate the Bidens. Your reaction to all of that?
Well, again, that's not what the founders said. The founders said that and again, they debated all of this at length. There was a proposal to make it a nebulous term, maladministration. The modern version would be abuse of power. It was Madison who stood up and says, well, that could mean anything. And if that's going to be the standard of impeachment, then the president simply is a servant of the Congress. That's when the Congress decided to replace maladministration, or in the modern sense, abuse of power, with the specific terms treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors.
Okay, let's move on to this. Democrats look like they're trying to set the media narrative, trying to undercut a Senate acquittal of Trump possibly next week. We know Americans are divided. New Pew poll, 51% say the Senate should remove the president. Gallup says 51% say don't do that. Mark Penn, a former advisor to President Clinton, a new opinion piece from Mark Penn saying, quote, end impeachment. What the president did was, quote, boneheaded, but not impeachable. Aid to the Ukraine was not held up, no investigation ordered. The president of Ukraine and other Ukrainian officials deny any pressure. So your reaction quickly to that?
Well, again, the longer this goes on, the more the polls have been gradually moving in the president's favor, and I would expect that to continue. I'll tell you this, the only people who bring it up to me, impeachment, are Republicans, and they are hopping mad. I think what the Democrats have accomplished is what Admiral Yamamoto said after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. He said, I'm afraid all we've done is awakened a sleeping giant and filled him with a terrible resolve. I think that's a good description of how the American electorate is beginning to react to all of this.
Okay, I want to move on to this. Politico had reported that Adam Schiff may have mischaracterized evidence from Lev Parnas. Unredacted material shows Adam Schiff referring to the wrong Mr. Z as the Ukrainian leader, but that instead it was the founder of Burisma who was looking to basically try to arrange a meeting over what was going on in the Ukraine with corruption. You know, what will the Bidens be called in to testify? Why is there such strenuous opposition to the Bidens testifying if the Bidens are innocent?
Well, a very good question. I mean, obviously, the Senate is well within its rights to say, look, you haven't alleged crimes, you haven't presented any admissible evidence. Come back when you can actually charge an impeachable crime and present legally admissible evidence. But if the Senate decides, okay, these are impeachable offenses and there is sufficient evidence to proceed, well, then I think all holds should be off of witnesses. Call everybody, both sides, call everybody you want. Now, it may be the Bidens claim the Fifth Amendment, it may be the president asserts executive privilege, but certainly all witnesses desired by either side ought to be called, and then let the chips fall where they may.
Congressman, great to see you. Come back soon.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Next, more on the